Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you so much for escaping with us. That's Andrew. I'm Alex.
And as always, with great power comes great Planet of the Apes ability.
Yes.
We're reviewing that. We're reviewing lots of things. It's one of those episodes, dude.
It's one of the episodes we're reviewing a whole lot.
We just compile it all in here. You want to go through
Should
it?
we rattle down the list?
Tales of the Empire.
Yeah.
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Challengers.
Yeah.
I'm doing Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the 6.
And you're doing Bad Batch.
Yes.
We're gonna do all that after. That's basically the whole episode. I think.
Pretty much.
We're gonna start with a good old classic High-Low Buffalo.
Before we do, I did want to let everybody know we are recording this on May the 4th.
Happy Star Wars Day.
So I know we're a little late, but it is Star Wars weekend. So happy Star Wars weekend. Happy Star Wars Day to all who celebrate. It is a shame that we didn't coordinate our Star Wars Day adjacent episode to be episode 66. This is 67.
But May 4th was Saturday. So it's in the week
That
of
Mondays,
Order 66.
Yeah, no, we did good job. All right.
And we did something in that episode that was Star Wars related. And
The question?
yeah. Oh, the
Order-
question
Order
was, would you want
66
to... Oh,
or-
speaking of,
Yes.
let's start with that.
Let's start with
I have
that.
the weekly question.
You have a bunch prepared for me, or you have a bunch saved that you refused for me to look at any of them because you were so excited for me to see.
No, I think they cooked this week. I thought they were pretty funny.
Okay.
So the question last week that we asked y'all was, if you could set me up on a blind date, real or fictional, who would it be and why? Let me get to the start here.
Yeah, no, take your time. It's not like we have anybody listening or watching or anything.
Okay. Oh, I had more than I thought. Okay. I would say Andrew on a blind date with Yarl
Yariel
Proof. Because we all know he's secretly in love with Alex, and that's the closest you can get.
Very funny.
I would set Andrew up with my mother so I can call him Daddy. Blind date with Jar Jar Binks because I'd like to see how he handles Jar Jar's tongue. This was Meme Kid. You know Meme Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if this one really makes sense. Hypothetically, if Andrew had a time travel machine, I would have him go back in time, find Hitler's wife, and set up on a blind date with her. Then Hitler finds out, and he shoots him, but comes back to the future and survives. Now he can say he was with Hitler's wife and got shot by Hitler. I don't know what the point of that entire story was. I think he just wanted Hitler to be in
I
it.
actually think it's a meta joke to say you are Hitler because you slept with Hitler's wife, something that Hitler did, and you got shot by Hitler, which is something that Hitler did. I think he's calling you Hitler.
I would set him up on a date with someone identical to Haley Steinfeld. Then when he gets there, it's just Zach.
That's good.
This guy just said, seeing as Andrew's only chance of getting a girlfriend is in fiction, we should keep all the answers like that. Brutal. I'd pick Alex for Andrew's date because Andrew would be so excited for this date and be so disappointed it was Alex. But that date would make Andrew realize they were meant to be, setting up their forever love story that will last to the end of time.
Excellent.
I responded and said, ... doubt. I would set Andrew up on a date with any version of MJ or Gwen that he chooses so that he can be one step closer to truly being Spider-Man. That's one of my favorite answers.
That's good. That's cute.
like that
See,
one.
that person's looking out for you.
Do you know Nicky Poo in the Discord?
I know Nicky Poo.
Yeah, so do you know his running bit of like everything he says is just in relation to him trying to get his ex back?
Yes.
It's a very funny running joke he has in the
It
Discord
is.
going.
He's also too hot to be making that joke. He's a real
I haven't
good-looking
seen him.
guy.
Is he hot?
He's like way hotter than the both of us.
Oh, well, that's not saying much.
Yeah.
But he said, I'll set him up on a date, but it's an inside job. He shows up and then boom, there's my ex, and the whole date he is only convincing her that I'm enough.
That's good.
I read that. That's one of the ones I read while we were watching Fall Guys and they were doing a Q&A with the director.
And you started crying.
And I had to I almost had to walk out of the room to not disrupt the Q&A because I was laughing so hard at that.
Yeah.
I'd set Andrew up with Toph because she's blind, so his height doesn't matter, so his personality carries him.
Oh my gosh. The height specifically.
Yeah.
It makes it way worse.
Yeah, it's brutal.
There's nothing like somebody pointing out one of your insecurities and hammering it.
Yeah, it was in a clever way, too.
Yeah, like people are like, oh, you fucking chinless, long neck, hideous ear guy, right? And that's fine, but you're just like, hey, you've got, your posture's pretty bad. That is the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rogue from X-Men, so he can die happily after sex. I'd set Andrew up with the mama bear from the Charmin Ultra Strong commercials because bro could use a big MILF.
Golly.
They're creative. You got to give them.
Golly.
The only right answer is Tinkerbell.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to leave that one there. Gwen Stacy from TASM 2 because I don't want him to be happy.
Oh.
They're so mean. They're so mean. I'd set him up with Alex's mother so Alex would have a father in his life.
Nice. Nice.
They didn't insult me for once. They
No.
brought it back on you
Nice.
somehow.
I was ready for it to be a daddy or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of set him up with Rogue one. So no matter how good the date goes, he would still never be able to feel the touch of a woman. Katara, because anything is better than her and Zuko. I like that answer.
Oh,
It's one of my
good.
favorites. And this guy said, a sweet, caring Christian woman. And then in parentheses, he said, she's secretly Batman with prep time.
Batman with prep time could marry you think?
He could figure it out. Ray, because if they got married, she'll have to change her last name.
Nice. Ray Parker. Nice.
She'll no longer be a Skywalker. Bert Kreischer, because their brief chemistry was out of this world. I agree with
I gotta
that.
find those clips.
Yeah, on the TV show. I thought her banner was all right. They cut a lot of it. She-Hulk, because she would dominate him, and we all know that's what Andrew is into.
This is true.
That is not.
I can confirm.
You cannot.
From personal experience.
No, see, this is a lie.
He likes
This
to be,
guy is lying. You're lying.
He likes to be dominated in the bedroom in the same way that he likes to be dominated on this podcast by my incredible wit and takes.
And intellect.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Chalamet, just to piss off Hat Guy.
You son of a bitch.
I like that one. One of the Pandora baddies. Andrew can be a test subject and let us know how it is.
Dude.
I'm all for that.
The water one in the second one is bad.
Or Natiri.
Yeah, but
I just need a tail. Can I surgically get a tail, dude? I'll figure it out. This guy, the entire answer is just any huge black guy. That's the whole answer.
Nice.
And huge is all caps.
Nice.
Gambit, so he can get advice on how to get a girl, and then in parentheses, it won't help.
Mm-hmm.
They're so brutal. No one, because there's no one in the real or fictional world that is good enough for my glorious King Andrew.
Oh, that's sweet.
I like that one too. But that also means that I'll forever be lonely.
Well, that's less sweet, but
Okay, so there were a lot of pedophile ones.
okay.
I either deleted or ignored a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
this one was clever enough that I'm putting it in here.
Wow.
Monster Girl, because she will become Andrew's type as she uses her power. And then he said only joke, which is also why I kept it in here, because he made it clear. It was
Holy crap.
There was another one that said Elsa, but in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Which is crazy.
Oh my god.
All right, a couple more. Sydney Sweeney, Andrew can upgrade her Disney pass.
Nice.
That's an inside joke with the patrons.
Yeah.
And this guy said a barber to eradicate the, and then he put an emoji of a bowl.
Nice. That's good.
Oh gosh. Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, I can't help but notice something that's absent. I'm not going to say it.
Okay, yeah, we're not saying it. The most common answer.
Yes, you did not
No, I didn't
say it. Okay. Well, they weren't any clever. They were just saying them.
Okay, let's see.
What's the next question for them?
Let's do, if you were in the Cars universe,
Okay.
what type of vehicle would you want to be and why?
Bang. I would be the Pope Mobile.
Yeah?
Who would I set you up with on a blind date? I got to answer that question.
You seem okay with me. You'd be okay with me banging your mom, dude. That's weird.
Yeah, I might set you up with my mother. I just don't I don't want to say she's alone, but
If you fictional, give me one fictional. Other than Mary Jane and Gwen and Betty. And Silk. And Black Cat.
he's a slut, dude.
He's just got Riz.
Shout out Spider-Man. Yeah, out of all fictional characters, I'm guessing like maybe the lead, the girl from The Nun. You know, The Nun.
You want to set me up with the nun?
Yeah.
You want to explain that?
You're like really religious and Christian, and God is the most important thing to her, and you'll never have sex. It's like right up your alley.
You don't think the nun's going to have sex?
Not the nun, the evil one, the good one.
Oh, I thought you were setting me up with the nun.
No.
Oh, the main girl.
The main girl.
That's in both movies.
Vera Farmiga's little sister.
She's pretty.
She's very pretty, and she's got the good religious values, and she's a schemer. She's a planner. She's probably pretty good at escape rooms.
That'd be fun.
That's what I'm saying. No sex.
We could fight demons
and
together.
Devoted to God. Like nothing changes in your life.
But what if we get married? Nuns don't get married?
No, nuns can't get married. That's the point.
But doesn't she have a dude that she likes in those movies?
Frenchie, but like it's like a platonic thing. At the end of the first one, she's like, I'm going to become a nun. And he's like, it's a damn shame.
I want to get married, though, and have kids. We'll have little nun fighting kids.
I like that.
Demon fighting babies.
Maybe you can, if anybody in the world can convince a nun to fuck, it'd be you. And Matt Murdock's dad.
That was good. Matt Murdock could, too.
100%. He's definitely fucked nuns.
When he, at the beginning of Deadpool season 3, when he's in the basement, were they doing stuff?
Him and that nun?
That old lady nun?
I can't believe you haven't finished that season.
Does he have sex with the nun by the end of the season?
I'm not going to tell you anymore.
I will literally finish the season
You
tonight.
need to finish the season tonight.
He hooks up with the nun?
I can't believe that we're having this conversation. You have to finish.
He bags the nun?
You have to finish the season tonight.
Coitus with the nun? No. No way. Blind coitus with the nun? No way. A world on fire.
So this is something completely off topic, but I wanted to talk to you about this. This is a nerdy thing to talk about.
I totally want to turn the air back on.
Yeah. Okay, go.
All right.
So this is something I was going to talk about on the Patreon with you, but we can just talk about it here. So we have had a couple of costume parties here at the house. Our first one was our first annual Escape Pod Halloween party, and we had a Spider-Man party.
Yes.
We very well might keep it to Spider-Man, but we're probably going to change up
What about
the theme
Deadpool this year? Like a Marvel in general.
We can do so we just had Avatar for Avatar.
Yeah.
We may or may not be having a party around Deadpool, around the time of Deadpool, because that is my birthday weekend.
Yep.
July 25th, the movie comes out. July 28th is my birthday. So we may have a party around then. If we decided to do a costume party for that, I was thinking, we could do Marvel, we could do MCU, we could do X-Men, we could do just general Marvel. Anyway.
X-Men would be really fun for 97.
X-Men would be very fun for 97.
I'm Nightcrawler. I'm going to paint my whole entire body blue.
That's awesome.
Give me a tail, give me some swords.
That's awesome. That would be
I'll
so
work
cool.
on the accent. I'll
with
drop
your
some bar.
perm. Speaking of last episode, huh?
It's my buffalo.
Shit. We'll talk about it.
We'll
later.
talk about that in a second.
Yeah. So yeah.
Update coming soon. I know.
Yeah. No. So you're gonna look sick if we did. Yeah, you should do that. So if we do a Marvel party or an X-Men party or something for Deadpool. I was talking to Rachel and I was like, "Who are you gonna do?" I wanted to do Daredevil because I just want to wear a suit. I just want to be super cash about it,
Super cash.
Wear glasses,
Wear the glass cane.
and the suit.
Is that offensive?
Like a gray suit? No, definitely not. Everybody does Daredevil at cosplays, like they do.
I'm sure someone can find it offensive though if they really wanted to.
Well, they can't see me if they find it offensive. So go fuck yourself.
That's a joke I would make.
I know.
I can't believe
You're rubbing off on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe one of these days I rub off on you and you'll actually have sex.
No, I don't think so.
Probably not.
Maybe you'll rub off on me one of these days and I'll say the N-word.
That's a Zach joke. I don't say the N-word. Our gay roommate Zach has a propensity for saying the
No,
N-word.
he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. It's a joke on the Patreon. Sorry.
Okay.
I texted Rachel and I was like, I think I want to do Daryl. And she was like, I want to do Rogue. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that.
Obviously.
But
Obviously.
then she was like, then you have to do Gambit or Magneto.
Ooh.
And I said, I don't want to do either of those guys because those guys have goofy costumes.
Come on.
I can't pull off the new Magneto suit.
No.
And I definitely can't pull off the old Magneto suit. Red isn't really my color. And then the Gambit suit is so awkward. So she found like a Gambit t-shirt I could wear, and then I'll just wear a headband. I don't know. But I said to her, we were coming up with different ways
This is a lot of planning for a party that doesn't currently exist.
Correct. But I want her to do Rogue, so I don't really care.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll throw an entire party just to get you a girlfriend in a Rogue costume.
Exactly.
I'm here for you,
See,
brother.
I love you. This is why we pay you the big bucks. So we were talking about it, and we're talking about like different ways we could do Magneto or Gambit, and I was like, could I do the Magneto suit he's wearing in episode 5, you know, with like the pink or whatever? And then I was like, oh, I'll just wear striped pajamas. Like I said, this probably should have been on the Patreon.
Did you actually say that to her?
I did. She said bro in all caps. I was like, what? Here, I'll read you the conversation.
This is a joke. It's a good one.
She's Jewish. She thought it was funny, I think.
Rachel's got a good sense of humor.
She's got a great sense of humor. Let me find it. I said...
That's brutal.
Yeah. Here it is.
Imagine if you actually did that, though. That would be bad. That'd be taking it too far.
I said... So she's like, we're looking at these pictures, and she's showing me stuff like this.
Dude, I want to see you in that. That's pretty goofy.
Right? So I'm like, I'm going to look like an idiot, right? And I was like, I'm going to look like the Phantom of the Opera. And you know, and I'm like, look, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to look ridiculous. And then she goes, yeah, you are going to look ridiculous. And then she was like, but I want to match. And I said, maybe I'll look into it. And she did the eye rolling emoji. And I go, I could wear striped pajamas. She goes, all caps, bro, no, you cannot, with a bunch of crying emojis. And I said, you don't like that? And she goes, absolutely not.
It's a good joke. Definitely a Patreon thing to say.
Yeah, sorry. So that's a little sneak peek. If you're not already subscribed, that's the kind of content.
Oh, and we're at, as of this morning, we're at 563, I think. When we get to 600, we will be handcuffed together for 24 hours. So
this is correct.
If you want to see that happen, go to the Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
Hilo Buffalo.
Yes. It took us a long time to get here, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to make some anti-Semitic jokes, apparently.
Clearly.
1 or 2?
2.
I will go first.
Go.
Hilo Buffalo. I am going to be a little, what's the word? Unruly? What's another R word for that? No, not that one.
Ravishing.
Not ravishing, like rambunctious.
Ooh.
I'm doing it out of order. I'm doing my low first.
Wow.
I know.
Very out of order.
Everyone buckle up. It's a crazy episode.
That's wild. Okay. I'm buckled.
Is this okay? Like, is this sacrilegious or is this good?
No, you're good. You make the rules, brother.
I make the rules. My low is that I still have this hair.
Yes.
Okay. We obviously wanted it done by now. I had someone in particular in mind. There was a lot of back and forth. There was trying to get the hairstyles chosen and the brackets on the Patreon, and that took a week or two. And then I had phone calls with this guy and the publicist and emailing publicists and all this. And then it ended up that like he wasn't available until like later this summer. So we scratched out.
Hairstylist with a publicist.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he does way better people's hair than me.
Of course. No.
So that was our first option, and that fell through. But so that's okay. We are now just going, like, I have an appointment. So my high is that I have an appointment for Wednesday.
Yes.
We are filming this Saturday. This episode goes up on Monday, and the appointment is on Wednesday.
Yes.
So most likely, unless we film next week's episode on Monday or Tuesday, the next episode I will have changed hair.
Yes.
And so that's my high. Very excited.
That's
to
very
get
exciting.
Rid of this. Who knows if it'll look good? Who knows what'll happen? But it'll happen.
Yes.
Buffalo is. We announced this last week, I believe, but we are doing a little competition where if you guys repost our shorts, make some meme compilations, funny moments. If you just post compilations of Escape Pod moments on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Not whatever. Maybe Twitter. But those two are the main ones. We are looking for whoever Each month, we'll look at who has the most views on one of those clips, and we will have you on for a segment of the podcast. We also have some sabers from Art Saber.
Yes.
They sent us some lightsabers, and we have a solid amount that we can give away.
Yes.
So we'll be giving one of those away as well to someone who has a video that has a lot of views. So let us know, tag us in them, send them to us, post your things, and we'll be picking a winner maybe once a month. We'll see how it goes.
Yes.
But that's my buffalo.
Yeah, great.
Are you excited for my hair? 1 through 10, how excited are you for my hair?
9, maybe 10.
Yeah. Just because it's like, what's gonna happen?
We're ushering in a new era.
We already have a new era with this.
Yeah, and
which might go away.
Are loving it.
Yeah, but so another one of my highs, I made that skit.
Yes.
It's like at 80-something thousand.
Congratulations,
It might hit 100,000, and then the vlog is at like 20, 30,000. Both of those could have easily had less than 5,000 views.
Easily.
So people are liking it, and that's the only video where I've specifically like pointed it out, and a lot of people were like, "Dude, your beard's tragic."
Well, the only time you've pointed it out, but we did point it out on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you were like, I feel like people are gaslighting me. 90% of the comments on the TikTok that we posted for the podcast said, keep it, just clean it up.
Yeah, which I did a little bit, and hopefully on Wednesday they'll help me a little. But like, this was just part of the Patreon thing. Like, I didn't grow this out. I just grew everything out. Like, this was not planned.
No, yeah.
This wasn't like a decision I made. It's just like a repercussion of this competition that we did for 500 patrons. So it might go away when I get the perm. I might do the perm and keep it for like a week and then get rid of it and just kind of see. But anyways, your turn.
We're very excited. No, please.
Yeah, I think I'm like a 9 out of 10 just to like, not because I'm so excited to look sexier, just because I'm like so excited to like
to see what happens.
Get it done. That my hair is, I'm a mop.
Yeah, no, I imagine. I've had long hair before. It is annoying.
Yeah.
So my high could have been a lot of things. As you know from behind the scenes, I've had a pretty great week.
Yeah, me too.
But my high I'm going to go with is the NFL draft. I recently, this past week, went to the NFL draft in Detroit. It was a lot of fun. I went for all 3 days. And I just wanted to tell this specific story because even though it's a sports thing and some of our audience may not resonate with it, I think this part, everybody will resonate with. The Atlanta Falcons had the 8th overall pick. And they just paid their quarterback $160 million this offseason, okay? They picked a guy to replace him who you just paid $160 million. And this guy, everybody felt like was a reach. They picked him too early. They could have picked him later in the draft and he still would have been there. You know, like if we did a draft... You know, and my 2nd overall pick in a best Spider-Man scenes draft was, the Tobey Maguire dancing. It would have been there at 5 if I really wanted it, right?
Yeah.
And there were a record 300,000 people there day one when this guy was picked 8th overall. And in unison, all 300,000 people there went, what?
Oh.
And there was such a sense of amazing camaraderie that I say that the last time I felt that connected with so many people was probably No Way Home.
Yeah.
When everybody went,
it's a fun,
yeah.
It's a fun feeling.
When Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire came out. That was the last time I felt that connected with a big group of people. So pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
So that's my
That's
high.
always fun. Even if it's something weird like that, where you're like, but if you all do it together, you can just like look around at strangers and be like, what the frick just happened? Yeah.
Did they really just do that? And everybody's like, yeah, bro, I thought. But it was everybody. It was awesome.
Do you think Deadpool will do that at all?
I hope so.
I hope, because like opening night, like it's going to be a lot of fun, but I don't know if there's going to be a moment where everyone like a portal scene moment in Endgame or a
portal scene moment in No Way Home.
I don't know if there's going to be a specific moment like that in Deadpool.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, but everyone
certainly could be.
There's going to be a lot of camaraderie with it regardless.
If Wolverine fights Hulk,
dude,
that'll be the moment.
Dude, if there's a moment where like you see his hand come into frame, whooshing, and then Hulk walks into frame, and
Edward Norton Hulk,
and there's like a standoff, everyone's gonna be freaking out. That's not gonna happen though. How much you want to bet?
I don't want to bet, but I think it's possible.
That would be sick.
That would be sick. So my low could be a lot of things. Just like my high could be a lot of things. I've had a great week. I could have a lot of lows. I'm gonna just bring up some off the bat. One very obvious one is my Miami Heat were knocked out in the first round by our arch rival Boston Celtics, who I hate with all my heart.
Not as much as the 49ers.
No, but they're definitely the second team I hate the most.
Okay, noted.
But it's an enormous gap.
Yeah.
There was just some frustrating things in the world of sports this week, but I wanted to call out the Miami Marlins. Again, my low is also sports. I'm sorry, everybody. But a lot of people that have watched this podcast know that it is a big goal of mine to one day own the Marlins. Shit like this is exactly fucking why, okay? We had our best year since 2003 last year, okay? We made the playoffs in a full season for the first time since 2003 last year. We had one guy that was our best player, and we had our manager, first woman in her position, in the MLB. We fucking asked her to take a pay cut because we're a cheap-ass franchise. She left.
I remember this.
Yes. And now, our best player from last year, who is great, who his whole family lives in Miami, he's Latin, he's a Spanish speaker, probably feels at home in Miami. We just traded him to San Diego for peanuts. Absolute peanuts. 3 players nobody's ever fucking heard of. And I lost it. I was at a thing with my brother, and I had to walk out of the room, and I threw my phone.
Was this yesterday?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
It's unbelievable.
Put it into Marvel terms. They trade away Spider-Man.
No.
Okay.
Very easy, okay? Avengers 1 has just come out. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 3 press tour, Robert Downey Jr. insinuates he wants more money to come back for Ultron, and Marvel says no problem, and they fire him, and they hire Kelsey Grammer as Tony Stark.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Not saying Kelsey Grammer is a bad actor.
I love Kelsey Grammer,
but not for Tony Stark.
I'm sorry.
And it's for no reason. Just pay him. Yeah, Avengers 1 just made $2 billion. Just pay him.
What can I do for you during this trying time?
Nothing. I'm fine. I'm being a little dramatic, but I'm also not. It's a fucking poverty franchise, and it frustrates the hell out of me. It's the worst thing ever. It's just so annoying. And every other team in Miami seemingly tries, and it's just like...
I'm here for you.
Thank you. It's... God. Yeah, I don't know, man. It sucks.
What's your Buffalo?
They're still available. These unbelievable hoodies done. The artist Drew Whipple redid our logo. The Spider-Man mugs made a Cyclops and made a Spider-Man that's kind of got the Magneto colorway. We love them so much.
Thank you so much for the support on those, by the way. Everyone who's bought one, thank you so much.
This
was a test. We've never done something like this before. We didn't know how it would work or if anyone would care. We don't know how many people care about X-Men 97, but people think they're hot because they are, and y'all are buying them. And we're so excited we're going to do this again with something that I think will even be better.
If you've been on some of the TikTok lives, you've probably seen it. I've showed it a couple times.
So later this year, we're doing another one. So thank you so much.
Shortly after, we'll probably be doing that. But again, like he said, this has been by far our most successful thing merch-wise. And unfortunately, this is only the second to last episode that will be out where they'll be available.
Yeah, so we're cutting it off as soon as the last episode of X-Men 97.
On May 15th. So unfortunately, we are, to quote Doctor Strange, we're in the end game now. And if you do want one and you have been waiting, unfortunately, it's not going to be around very much longer. They're going to be gone forever. So yeah, make sure you get yours now. And like we said previously, one random lucky purchaser of one of these hoodies, we will be bringing you on to review X-Men 97 with us in 3 weeks. So may the best win. And again, we can't thank you enough for the support on the hoodies. They've been awesome.
Best community ever.
Ever. Can we harmonize?
No.
Come on. Best community
ever.
You go high. I'll go low.
Ever.
Here we go. Best.
Ever. Oh.
1, 2. Best community ever. Nice.
I don't know if it's worth a clink.
Oh.
I didn't put my hand on my cup and you clinked it anyways. Does that count as a clink?
I think so.
It's like a half a clink.
Ashley, you let us know.
It's
if
a
that counts.
it's a clinker. That's a slur in Star Wars.
That is a slur in Star Wars.
Huge slur in Star Wars.
People that aren't alive,
Yeah.
but it is a slur. All right.
All right, let's start with some reviews. Are we still rolling?
Oh, that's a good
Let's do
question.
some reviews.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll spoiler warning as we go, so you can still stick around.
I was thinking we do no spoiler warnings.
Oh, we just want to F them
Do you
over?
think we need to do spoilers in any one of these?
Not really.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, not really.
All
There's
right.
nothing too big to spoil in it.
Let's go.
Okay, what's first?
Ungentlemanly warfare.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so Ungentlemanly Warfare. No, I'm sorry. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I give like a 8
Okay.
out of 10.
Yeah.
I think. Some people thought it was kind of mid.
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
It's a classic Guy Ritchie movie. Henry
Yep.
Cavill's great. The guy who plays Reacher, Jack Reacher.
Big guy.
Big guy, dude. He's huge.
Yeah.
I just want to watch him be huge.
He really wants Batman. What do you think of that?
He wants to be Batman. I feel
Yeah,
like he's too big
in
to
the
be Batman.
DCU.
He should be Bane.
A lot of people want it's for the DCU's Batman. The two most popular I've seen is Jack Reacher and Jensen Ackles.
The guy who plays Jack Reacher. Jack Reacher's a character.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and in Jack Reacher he plays a very like monotone, like I'm a big dude, I'm whatever. And in this, he has like a Swedish accent, and so the acting was great. And yeah, it's a whole little like spy espionage action. It's very funny. I was entertained throughout. I had a lot of fun with it. I was laughing. I had a great time. So, not the best movie in the world, but if that's Guy Ritchie World War II action comedy is your thing, starring Henry Cavill, go watch it.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
Yeah. All right. I'll move on to Bad Batch season 3.
Sure.
I give an 8 out of 10. To preface it, I think I would give seasons 1 and 2 each a 5 or 6 out of 10. I thought that this was a huge improvement over the previous 2 seasons. When you spend so much time with those characters, you really fall in love with them. I felt Omega for the first time ever was likable, and she was one of the best parts of the show for me in season 3. Just the first 2 seasons, it's the Clone Wars syndrome of, okay, lot of filler. Oh my gosh, that is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Lot of filler. Great ending. That's kind of the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And this season all the way through has a full overarching plot. There is maybe 1 filler episode, if you would consider that. Maybe 2. But like, even then, they're good episodes. It's really solid throughout. I was just a tad disappointed with the ending. And I think a lot of people were emotional from the ending, as was I.
Did you cry?
Maybe like a tear or 2, but I'm more sad about that era being over. Dave Filoni, the people at Star Wars have said this is the last thing you're getting from Clone Wars. And so for that era to be over is kind of sad, but I think that's more why I was sad, not the emotional payoff of the season. I cried at the end of season 2. I like for the characters. I didn't cry at the end of this one, I don't think. But it's
good.
It was a huge improvement over the previous 2 seasons. I was very impressed. Good stuff, Bad Batch. I mean, nice work. Way to send it off.
Good.
Nice, good stuff. What do we got next?
Star Wars Part 2, or do we want to do Fall Guy?
I was thinking Fall Guy.
Okay, great.
All right, so here is our review out of 10 for Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt's The
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
8.5.
8 out of 10. Yeah.
It's fun.
My favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, so on my Letterboxd list,
Yeah.
I have it second because I like it. Personally, I enjoyed it, had more fun with it than Dune.
Yeah.
But Dune is better enough as a movie that I still keep it at number 1. So Fall Guys at 2. But this is my favorite movie of the year. It's so funny. You have so much fun with it. Ryan's great. Emily's great. We saw the producer and the director do a Q&A. They were great. They really seemed to enjoy what they were doing and were passionate about it. It made me want to be a stuntman.
Wow.
Again.
There was a joke in the movie that you said was your favorite joke in maybe the last 5 years.
Yeah, no, like, I don't want to.
No, we're not going to spoil
We're not
it,
gonna
but
say
there are some very creative jokes when it comes to a dog. Very smart stuff.
I'll just say this. He goes, "What are you doing?
What are you doing?"
That joke, if you see it, you know what I'm talking about. I like, yeah, my high-pitched laughter in the theater. Like,
it was amazing.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great movie. Like you said, it's not the best movie I've seen this year. I think both Monkey Man and a movie we're going to be reviewing next, I think are better movies,
Yeah.
but I much prefer Fall Guy. I think I'm excited to see Fall Guy again in theaters.
Yeah, I would go see it again. And I like, obviously it's funny. Obviously it's the chemistry between Emily and Ryan.
It's electric.
It's unbelievable.
It is Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone level.
Yeah.
It's like that good.
When he's like doing her little hat thing and she slaps him and he's like, yeah, I'm open to that in a more safe environment. Like you see that in the trailer. Like that's funny. But then I just really love when movies stick the landing, and like for a movie like this to have the ending be what it was, which is like this big heist thing like on a movie set where like explosions are going off and everything, I was like, as it was getting set up, I was like, oh, this is what they're doing with this. I was like, this is perfect. I'm ready to watch this and have fun with it. So yeah, definitely the most fun movie of the year. It's apparently not having as big of an opening weekend as they were expecting. They were like projecting like 30 million. It's at like 27, 28, I think. Go support it. We need more movies like this, in my opinion.
Yes.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Fall Guy is great.
Yeah, so go watch it.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Yeah. All right. There you go. Cool.
Next?
Yeah. Are we doing challengers next?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. This is our review, a little late, admittedly, for challengers. Out of 10, 3, 2, 1,
8.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I thought it was fabulous.
It's very good.
It's so good.
So on my Letterboxd review, this is what I said.
Yeah.
It is 2 hours of watching toxic, terrible people be toxic and terrible to each other. And if that's your cup of tea,
it's gonna be your favorite movie.
It's gonna
ever.
be your favorite movie of all time.
Shout out
That's
Cameron.
not necessarily my cup of tea. Like I don't enjoy watching people just be terrible. But even so, it's still such a great movie. It's an 8 out of 10. Like Zendaya's character is an awful person. She's awful. The two guys are awful. Everyone's awful. But it's interesting watching them be awful.
I'm just here for the drama.
Yeah,
you know me. I'm a drama guy. I love some good drama. It's why I love the NBA. Drama's my favorite thing. It's just a lot of great drama going on, and it's shockingly well shot for a tennis movie. How creatively they shoot the tennis scenes. I was constantly like, what is this shot? Like the composition is incredible, and it's really well written. There's some really good dialogue. There's some really good bars in it.
Were you constantly like trying to watch the tennis players and see if it was actually Zendaya or if it was like wide enough to be a double?
No.
I was trying to see like how good they had to make the actors be good at tennis.
I didn't notice. I wasn't looking for that.
Not always, but like most of the times where like there's an actual like really hard rally going on, it's like a wide shot.
Oh.
But they do a really like there's a couple times where like you see them hitting and I was like, oh, that's impressive.
Wow.
So I was wondering if they ever did like CGI on the faces to like swap it out, or if like the actors just had to get really, really good, or a combination of both, or if it's just wide. When you watch it, like try and decipher.
Who was the hottest?
I think that I'm not as high on Zendaya as everyone else. Neither are you.
No.
But obviously she's very. There are scenes in this movies where she's very attractive. When she's got sunglasses on and she's like the woman in charge, or the woman not in charge, woman in toxicity. I don't know how to describe her. On the sidelines, that was hot. There's one scene.
You love a boss bitch. You love to be dominated.
Can we stop with this narrative, please? There's obviously the scene in the trailer where she's like, "Come here, me."
Yeah.
So there's that scene, but there's another sexy scene. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
That was pretty good. But there's no full sex scenes in this movie.
No. You see some penis.
Do you? Oh yeah, you do. But not from the main people. Like that penis was so not necessary. It was just in a locker room and you see a penis. Why? Yeah.
I thought the blonde guy was the hottest.
Yeah, he's definitely hotter than the
yeah, but Patrick
the
is
broke
hot.
one.
Patrick
you
is
think both of those are hot?
Patrick's has got like a hot thing going. They're both hot.
Yeah, but imagine if both of the guys were replaced with like Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds. Like that'd be too hot. It'd be too much.
I don't know. Those guys aren't athletes. Like maybe if it was like an athlete guy, but those guys were hot.
They looked like a hot version of a tennis player.
They looked like hot tennis players. I agree. There you go.
Cooking.
All right, so your pick Zendaya, my pick is Art.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah. Not
Challengers, very hot people. It's a very hot movie.
But the Fall Guy has Ryan Gosling
And Emily
like,
Blunt.
Like
hot take. Fall Guy is the best Emily Blunt's ever looked. There's a butt shot in there. It's not even a butt shot. It's like a thigh shot. She's sitting down. I couldn't control myself.
Dude, I'm sorry, we're back to the Fall Guy. But the scene where she keeps making him do the stunt over and over again was so funny, like so clever.
Yeah.
I loved that scene.
Yeah.
And everyone's just, and then it cuts to the alien. Okay, I'm sorry. It was really funny. It's really funny.
Oh yes, the alien.
But Ryan Gosling's hot in that movie too, and so is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is so hot.
He's
in
shirtless
Fall Guy.
for like the last full scene.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is like so hot in the Fall Guy. I know that Aaron Taylor Johnson's hot. I've been saying Aaron Taylor Johnson's hot since fucking Kick-Ass. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's less hot in Ultron because the white hair isn't ideal.
Not doing it for you.
But like he's obviously super hot in Bullet Train. I mean, there are edits about how hot he is in Bullet Train. This is the hottest Aaron Taylor Johnson has ever been.
Really?
He's so hot.
Hotter
in this
than the
movie.
suit and whatever in Bullet Train?
I'm telling you, dude. I thought he was so hot in this movie.
Doesn't he have like a mustache and stuff in Bullet Train?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah. And he's got the longer hair.
Yeah, I'm taking
But in
Bullet
this
Train.
movie, it's curly and it's blonde. He was
And he's got
killing me.
like a furry robe on with no shirt. Right?
Yes. But I even liked him in costume, in the gold. Space Cowboy. Oh, I was getting aroused.
Dude, also unicorn. Not going to spoil anything.
The unicorn scene is very funny.
Yeah.
Enjoy the unicorn scene. Enjoy Fall Guy. Go see it. Like, Fall Guy, I really would hate this, but it feels like this year's Dungeons and Dragons. You didn't expect it to be as good as it is. It's going to be one of everybody's favorite movies of the year, except for Owen hates movies. Yeah. And yet it's going to make no money. I really hope it makes money.
The difference between the Fall Guy and Dungeons and Dragons, though, because Dungeons and Dragons was like my third favorite movie of last year.
Came out of nowhere.
Dungeons and Dragons came out of nowhere. The marketing for Dungeons and Dragons sucked. The marketing for the Fall Guy has not.
You're right.
They have done an absolutely amazing job with the marketing of Fall Guy. So I don't know why people wouldn't. Like, everyone I've ever talked to has been like, oh, I want to go see that. But then they have no plans to. Make plans to.
Dang. It's so good.
It's fun.
It's so fun. All right. Yeah. Challengers is really good. Challengers is
Oh, yeah,
probably
back
the
to
best
Challengers.
movie I've seen this year.
Do you have a 2024 list going on Letterboxd? Do you do that?
I do.
What's at the top? Challengers?
No,
Or the Fall Guy?
Fall Guy.
Good.
Because Fall Guy, Challengers, Monkey Man is my top three.
Dunes, and then Fall Guy, and then Monkey Man. I think Challengers is 4th or 5th. Can't remember what else I would put above Challengers. Maybe it's 4th. I put it under Monkey Man, I think. A dude grabbing a knife with his mouth and sticking it in another dude's neck is better than
Electric.
Is better than tennis drama to me personally.
That's fine.
But Challengers,
I
Challengers,
loved the drama.
Challengers is very like you're not bored in Challengers except for the super long. I don't know what it is with the Challengers movie.
This is my one issue. This is my one issue.
The issue with the Challengers movie was like they take some scenes and they, the movie is fully itself. You see it in the trailer, the type of music they're using, the type of drama they're using, the type of shots they're using. But then it's so fully itself sometimes that the scenes are so long. Like, especially the ending. They do it a couple times. They do it a few times in the movie where it's like it starts playing and whatever that music is. And it's just like a slow-mo shot of them bouncing the ball, getting ready to serve. And that goes on. Legitimately, I'm not kidding, for like 5 or 10 minutes.
I know you haven't seen this movie, so I'm going to speak to the audience here. Challengers, my one problem with Challengers, other than maybe a little issue that I have with the ending, is it has Hateful Eight syndrome. I know you haven't seen Hateful Eight. Hateful Eight is a 3-hour Quentin Tarantino movie that if you cut out everything that isn't dialogue would be like an hour 40. It is just, it lingers. The shots linger. There's an opening shot in Hateful Eight on a cross that's literally 40 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what Challengers is. It's just every shot lingers. We were talking about a scene as we were walking out of the theater where it's literally you just need to tell the story in the shot that these two guys find her attractive.
Yeah.
And yet it does her looking beautiful, cuts to them gawking at her. Her looking beautiful, cuts to them gawking at her. Her, like, you only need to do it once, and they literally do it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and I understand it's a stylistic choice to, like, increase the drama and draw it out a little bit more, but you do it a little too much, and you do it with scenes like them walking out of their dressing room to go to a tennis match, Zendaya and Art. That was another scene where they're walking out and they're like chewing gum and they're walking towards the camera. That scene, the scene where she's dancing and they're gawking at her, that scene. And then obviously the ending, the ending is like 3 or 4 times worse than all the other scenes combined. But you didn't like the ending of Challengers?
I would have, I'm a drama guy and I liked this movie so much for the drama. And I don't want to spoil it, but I was unhappy that details were left out on the fact that I'm the drama guy that wants all the details. Right? Like if you think about it like this, it'll be very easy to understand why I liked this movie so much and then why I was disappointed by the ending for those of you that have seen it. I'm a big, like, if Andrew, goes out and, meets a girl, I want to know her name. I want to know, where she's from. I want to know how long they talked. I want to know what they talked about. Andrew knows this. This is just the kind of friend I am.
Nosy.
Exactly. Rachel, my girlfriend, was formerly the president of her sorority. It was the happiest time in our relationship because I got everybody's drama. But it's just, I'm a bit of a drama king. I love to hear everybody else's drama. And I just want to know what happens. And there are certain details that are left out of the end.
Well, I'm not one that particularly likes ambiguous endings in movies. I think they have to be done very well for them to be worth it or make sense. And normally when I see it, I was like, oh, it's not fair of me probably, but like I feel like you weren't creative or you were too lazy to make a choice. So you're just gonna leave it up. Obviously that's not true for all movies, but this one I actually liked because the drama is so, like, there was no choice in the things that were left out that necessarily could have been made that would have been better than leaving it unanswered. Leaving it unanswered was better than answering certain things. And the way they handled that last scene to get it to that point was very good. So I liked it. I really liked the ending.
There you go. All right, shall we move on?
Tales of the Empire.
Tales of the Empire. You got a score?
Sure.
All right. Here is our review for Disney Plus and Star Wars' new Tales of the Empire show. Out of 10. 3, 2, 1. 4
5.
out of 10. It sucks. It doesn't suck, but like...
No.
You didn't see Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Tales of the Jedi is incredible. Tales of the Jedi is a 9 out of 10. Tales of the Jedi is the best Star Wars project ever that isn't one of the 4 perfect ones, which is...
Empire,
New Hope, Empire, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, if you will count Siege of Mandalore, and Andor. Those are the 4 best Star Wars projects ever. Tales of the Jedi is the 5th best. Tales of the Jedi is incredible. It has 1 bad episode, and then everything else is a 10 out of 10. Oh my God, what were we doing here? Now I understand. I understand why Tales of the Jedi is so good and this is so bad, okay? Sorry, I'm going to let you speak in a minute, but this is all I want to say.
I'm like all ears.
Tales of the Jedi is Ahsoka and Count Dooku. 2 characters that either there is a lot of lore, we are really connected with Ahsoka, we've watched her journey, we're getting more Ahsoka content, we want that, okay, A. Or Count Dooku, a character that everybody is like, want more Count Dooku stuff. Everybody loves Count Dooku. Everybody loves Sir Christopher Lee's incredible performance in the 2 movies he's in. He's a character with a lot of mystery. We know he left the Jedi. Why did he leave the Jedi? We know he trained Qui-Gon Jinn. How was that? We know he didn't get along with the Council like Mace Windu. Why was that? A lot of how did he get seduced by the dark side? How did he start working with Palpatine? Did anybody know about that? All of those questions are answered, questions that we all wanted. And Tales of the Empire follows Barriss Offee and Morgan Elsbeth. Our experience with Barriss Offee, 99.9% of the fandom hates Barriss Offee for what she does to Ahsoka in Clone Wars.
Yep.
And Morgan Elsbeth is a character that none of us care about, and we're only just being given context about her because she plays a vital role she's got a cameo in Mandalorian, and she plays a vital role in Ahsoka. And so, sure, maybe people are like, oh, I want to know more about Morgan Elsbeth, or I want to know about what Barriss Offee did after the Clone Wars. But these aren't characters that, like, mean a lot to the fandom. That may be why I think that the stories overall are told interesting. They are interesting stories. They're told creatively. The animation, except in the last episode, looks very good. I thought the last episode looked really bad, like season 1 of Clone Wars level bad. But everything else I thought looked really good. But I was like so excited for it because I love Tales of the Jedi so much. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, why did they make this?
Yeah, that's kind of what I came away from it. Like we watched Tales of the Empire earlier today, like right before we filmed this, and I got through with it and I was like, okay. Like the Barriss one at least had like a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the first half of it with Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
it tells an interesting story, but then is it just lead up to what happens in Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Like, why would I watch 3? Like, it's cool, but like you watch 3 episodes of them just setting up what happens in like half of a season of season 2 of Mandalorian or something.
It's 1 episode of season 2 of Mandalorian. It's just episode 5. And then Ahsoka.
Yeah, it just all of Tales of Empire just seemed like, that's why I gave it a 5, because like there's some good stuff in there. Like some of the story is interesting, some of the fights are interesting, some of the animation is good, but I just got through with it and I was like, okay, off. Like the Star Wars lore, the Star Wars franchise, I don't feel like has improved because now these episodes exist.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
And I don't want to like discredit everyone who worked on it or like the stories that were told, but especially with the first 3 episodes, I just watched it and I was like, okay,
why?
We watched her become evil-ish kind of, and now there's no conclusion there, and then now we're going to watch Barriss. Wasn't bad. Definitely, I just didn't get anything out of it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and
it could have been worse. Definitely could have been better.
It's been out for a year or 2 years at this point, so I feel comfortable spoiling Tales of the Jedi. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I just want to tell you, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Because you just went through the 6 episodes of Tales of the Empire. I'm sure a lot of you guys have watched Tales of the Empire, but again, we're not going to spoil it. But anyway, Tales of the Jedi, right? So Tales of the Empire, the 6 episodes that are told, the importance of the stories, the importance of the individual episodes, I don't know. Tales of the Jedi, episode 1 is Ahsoka's origin and how her family and village found out she was Force sensitive. That's the only bad episode, but it's still interesting. It's an interesting concept. Episode 2 is Count Dooku training Qui-Gon Jinn, and you see a young teenage Qui-Gon Jinn, and you see their ideologies and how they are different. Cool. Episode 3 is a mission with Count Dooku and Mace Windu, where you see how Count Dooku does not get along with the Council.
Important.
Episode 4 is you see Count Dooku fully being seduced by the dark side. Qui-Gon has just passed away, killed by Darth Maul, and you now understand his, like, you see his reaction to knowing his apprentice was murdered. Okay? Then episode 5 of Tales of the Jedi is Ahsoka training with clones, training under Anakin, and you see how she got so skilled at certain things. And then it fast forwards you to her and Rex walking into the hangar, the Order 66 hangar, where, he's like, look, she's not a Jedi, right before they try and stop that fight. And then episode 6, you see Ahsoka at Padme's funeral. I'm not going to say anything else about that episode, but that is Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Empire, like episode 1 is kind of an interesting premise, but you don't really do anything that interesting with it. And then episode 2, you see Thrawn for a minute. It's like politics and funding. And then episode 3, what are we doing? It kind of leads to Mando, but like kind of not. And then episode 4, you don't see Order 66, but you like know what's happening. And then episode 5, and you see what it's like to be an Inquisitor, I guess. And then episode 5, you see a bad Inquisitor and a kind of okay Inquisitor. And then episode 6, you see those same characters again. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I described that pretty well.
Yeah, I do think that there's 2 stories that are told. Barriss and Morgan. Mm-hmm. I think the stories as concepts, as ideas, were actually solidly interesting stories. I just, like, so I do want to give them props there. Like, they did an interesting thing with both of those stories. I just got to the end of the 6 episodes and kind of shrugged. That's basically how I came out from it. But let us know what you think.
Yeah, am I tripping on Tales of the Empire? I don't
think it's right to say it's actively bad, but like it's also, you're not gonna get anything out of it like Tales of the Jedi or Andor or Mandalorian or any of a long list of other things that are definitely better.
Like I was floored by how good Tales of the Jedi was. So I had no reason to believe that Tales of the Empire wouldn't be the same, and it's not. It's definitely not. I don't know. Like, I wanted them to come up with a Tales every year, and now I'm okay if it dies. Which is a shame.
Last one.
Yes. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. We must disclose that we went to the premiere for Kingdom of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the premiere first? Or do you
Yeah.
Okay, so the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes premiere was a whole lot of fun, and they did a wonderful job with it. We want to say thank you so much for allowing us to be there.
20th Century Studios, Disney.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyone involved.
Yes.
So a couple of things that they had: the red carpet, they had
Yes.
the photo ops,
Yes.
they had some snacks and beverages for us. They had some of the stuff from the movie set
Yes.
up, and then at the premiere for this movie, they had like freaking apes on horses.
Monkeys on horses.
Not real monkeys, but like people dressed as monkeys, but like you couldn't tell. Like it looked so cool.
Like I always, and we'll get into this in our review. These movies have the best CGI out of any franchise ever, no
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
But like, now I want to see a movie with these practical effects. These monkeys were monkeys. Like I know
Yeah.
that they're humans, but they're monkeys. Cause like, you know when you're wearing a mask and then you like blink and you clearly see your human eyelids blinking?
Yeah.
They weren't human eyelids. Like it was monkey eyelids. When they blinked, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe they were blinking. It was unbelievable.
They looked like, and we got invited to the event, and then they only allowed a few people in to like see the monkeys and
On horses. Yep.
arrive early. So we got to see them like literally walk in. And when I got the email, like I didn't know what that meant. Like
Yeah.
I was like, is this like a video that we're watching? Is this real apes on? That seems kind of dangerous to do on Hollywood Boulevard. And then when it was like an in between thing of like. It wasn't real apes, but gosh darn it, they look like it.
Yeah.
So the photo ops with that was pretty cool, and they're coming in and the sun's like setting, and they're
Yeah, it
like
was
regal
awesome.
monkeys on friggin'.
It was awesome.
So yeah, unbelievable event.
Yes.
We'll be popping up some pictures and videos and
Yeah.
stuff. And we've posted it all on Instagram and everything.
Yes.
So that was cool. Was that your favorite part of the event, or was the photo ops that we got your favorite, or?
We got to go with two friends of the show, Chris Bazaya, the King of Geeks, and Soups, and hanging out with them at the premiere, being so excited for the movie, watching the horse riding apes walk in. That was amazing. Seeing some friends there, taking pictures, taking in the event. It, for a franchise that means so much to me, right? In my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Like, this is probably my favorite trilogy of all time. This franchise, it just seeing it celebrated the way that it was really, really special for me.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I got a suit just for it.
Yeah, I thought we looked amazing.
Yeah,
I thought we looked pretty
you
spiffy.
and your baby blue.
I like the baby blue. I'll wear it again. I mean, you've been to a couple premieres now.
Yes.
With
Lisa Frankenstein, and then technically Underdogs, the Snoop Dogg, yeah.
And I've been to some last year, the Black Phone, Bullet Train, Across the Spider, stuff like that. So this was the first like 20th Century Fox Disney one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're really appreciative, and they knocked it out of the park. I thought it was really fun. We normally, one of the big things that you do at events is like you watch like the actors and stuff show up.
Yeah.
We went into the theater. I don't know, like there are no big A-list actors in this movie, so I guess it doesn't make as much sense.
Catherine Newton was there.
Yeah, we saw some friends that met her.
Oh, cool.
Some friends met her. I can't remember who it was. I think it was. I can't remember.
Riz Ahmed was there, star of Rogue One and Venom and Sound of Metal.
Yeah, and then the villain in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. I can't remember his name.
Him.
He was there. So we still saw some people. And normally when they do movies at premieres, this is the first time they have people introduce the movie. They have people like the actors come out, like at Fall Guy.
Yeah, you mentioned this.
Premiere,
yeah.
like they come out. And this is the first premiere I've ever been at. They were like, enjoy the movie, and then it just like they dim the lights, and I was like, there's no intro. So that was interesting. But so that was one thing that you didn't get out of this premiere that you get at most others. But also at most others, you don't get monkeys on horses.
Certainly not.
And there's never been a better photo op than the huge stone monkey head with the throne.
It was an awesome photo op. I will say,
You got the best picture?
I think I got the best one out of every single one I've seen
was
at
pretty
the
good.
throne. My throne pose, I cooked.
You cooked.
It may be because the throne was enormous.
Yeah, you can't sit on it without looking like a baby.
Like everybody, yeah. So I could put up a picture here of me sitting in it, and I'm a tall guy. I'm sitting in it, I look like a child. But So maybe I filled it out a little bit more than other people, but it was hard to look good in that chair, and I think I kind of cooked. And I posted it on my Instagram story, and I will say, more people than not swiped up and were like, "Holy shit, you are the man." Yeah. I felt like $1 million.
How many times do you think we said, "What a wonderful day"?
Literally 1 million times, and I was so happy. So you see the "What a Wonderful Day." It's said by a character in this movie. You see it in the trailer. They do say it multiple times. So I was so happy.
It's a pretty cool scene.
that they kept saying it in the movie, because we must have said it 100 times before the movie started. Yeah. So
movie.
Yeah. So here's our review for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes out of 10. You prepared?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. 6 out of 10. Yes.
So we're gonna do pros and cons on this one.
Yes.
What do you want to start with?
Let's start with pros.
Okay, pros.
Obviously, if you feel that Dune 2 is, that's fine. I think this is the best looking movie of the year. Breathtaking.
Yeah, that's the word I was exactly about to use. It is. There's not a second of this movie where you're like, that didn't look good. No. There's only seconds of this movie where you're like, this looks so freaking cool. Go see it in IMAX.
Yes.
We saw it in IMAX. You get close-ups of these monkeys and gorillas. The entire movie. It's not even like in Rise. Like, there's a few monkeys and like it's humans. Like, there's like one human in this, and then the rest are monkeys. Like, the entire time. And it's not just the monkeys look good. Everything looks good.
And a big thing, because this does happen, I think, 2 or 3 times in Rise. It doesn't happen in Dawn or War, and it certainly doesn't happen in this movie. There are scenes with a human character and the monkeys, and neither of them look out of place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you put a person that is there next to like a CGI Iron Man suit, sometimes that can look weird. They look like they are in the same room. It looks correct.
Yeah.
Unbelievable work.
Yeah.
This movie took 7 years to make. You can see it on the screen. It's breathtaking, this CGI environment, and everything is CGI in this movie. There's not a practical set in this movie.
Yeah. And the movie starts with like a very outdoorsy, the apes climbing in
one of my favorite
in
scenes.
Nature.
Yeah.
So it starts with a bang, and it looks really good.
Yes.
Some of the other things, there are certain scenes in this movie that I really enjoyed, like the final fight. We're not going to do any spoilers, but the final fight in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was clever and kind of epic, and kind of what happens kind of ties back to like some of the stuff in the start of the movie, and makes this movie and these characters and that fight a little more unique than other movies and other ape movies. So I did enjoy that. And then, like, again, can't spoil things, but you'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about if you see the movie. The first big bad thing that happens, it takes a minute to get there, and then when it happens, I think they handle it really, really well. The tension in that scene, the tension in some of the scenes, like when the water is rising,
yep.
The bridge,
yep.
The village,
yep.
Words to tell you what I'm talking about without spoiling anything.
Yes.
All those scenes, you feel the tension.
They're tense.
They're tense.
They're tense. A big pro for me. Rise is cute. Dawn isn't at all. War has some comedy. This movie has some really superb comedy. There are a couple of scenes that will have you laughing out loud.
There's not a lot.
No.
There's not a lot.
But there's none in Dawn.
Right.
And there's not much. It's really just Bad Ape in War.
I was about to say War is depressing.
No, Bad Ape is very funny in War. There are characters. There's not like a comedic relief, but there is a bit that goes on for a couple of scenes that is hilarious.
Yeah, there was once or twice where both of us laughed out loud. Yeah.
Cackled. No.
So that moment was really
there's
funny.
just no.
Yeah.
That is really, really, really strong. And then, obviously a lot of people have been asking me this, which is a big pro of mine, is the respect to the previous franchise.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't want to consider myself an expert on the Planet of the Apes franchise, and I don't want to say that I'm, the aficionado, but of all the people in social media, on TikTok, on YouTube, etc., I don't know that many people that this franchise means this much to. So I wouldn't say my 2 cents on this is taken with a grain of salt. I thought that they handled the past very well. I think that you do get some closure, some much needed closure from the previous films in a particular scene. I think that the way they handle the time jump and the effects of what certain characters from the past mean now that we are several generations later, the way some things could be interpreted or misconstrued.
Right. So that was one of my pros.
Yes.
Caesar is obviously Planet of the Apes. Caesar
Yes.
is the Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Yes.
And obviously this is like decades or generations later, so
Yes.
you're not going to have Caesar anymore.
Yes.
But because we agree Caesar's one of the best characters we've ever seen.
Maybe my favorite character in all of fiction.
So it was a question going in whether they're going to ignore him completely.
Yes.
Whether, the window and this is still going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are there still going to be echoes or remnants of things of Caesar and from the previous trilogy? And they do it, and they do it in a very interesting way. And kind of like how you said how what Caesar stood for,
Yes.
and what the window stood for, and,
Yes.
and what kind of Caesar's legacy is, and how some people maybe can use that for good or evil, or there's different interpretations, and what's good and what's right and what's wrong, and kind of using Caesar's legacy to kind of inspire different conflicts and different storylines in this movie, I thought was very clever.
Yes. I agree.
I liked that.
Yes.
Anything else?
Those are all major points. Obviously, we don't want to get into spoilers. My favorite scene in the whole movie is a particular shot that maybe we'll talk about in the future when this movie's been out for a couple weeks, or maybe on the Patreon in a couple weeks or something. But there is a particular shot that, still sticks with me. It's one of the best shots in the whole franchise.
Tell me without telling me.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
That shot is awesome.
That project. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the shot.
Yeah.
But it's
I audibly was like, ooh.
Yeah, we all were.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, there are some incredible shots of this franchise. Obviously, the opening to Dawn with Caesar's face with the war paint is awesome. But no, it's no, there's some really strong stuff in this movie. You want to go to cons?
Yeah, let's do cons.
Please.
I think we only have like one or two big ones, but they're big. Because obviously we gave it a 6 and a 6.5. So it could have been better. What's your biggest con?
I'm going to use a comparison to talk about this movie. I am notoriously very harsh on Rogue One, A Star Wars Story.
Yeah.
Which is a movie that I feel is unbelievably boring and a nothing movie for 2 hours, and then has an incredible final 30 minutes. But I do not think the final 30 minutes excuse the snooze fest that comes before it. I kind of think that this movie is Rogue One without an awesome
Without the last 30
final
minutes.
battle. And
I like the final battle.
it made me feel that maybe I'm too harsh on Rogue One.
Yeah, maybe you should go.
I do think the 2 hours before are worse in Rogue One than in this movie, and I think it's better in this movie. And I think that the strongest moments of this movie are in the first hour. But all three of the previous trilogy, they're such clear stories. It's so easy to understand why this world is the way it is, what is going on, why these characters do the things they do. And this movie, I don't think any of that is clear.
Yeah, so my main con is it's slow. It's slow, and there are scenes in this movie that are good, but it takes forever to get from one good scene to the next. There's a lot of stuff in between. There's even scenes that are interesting. There's just a lot of establishing shots that are long, and some of those are fine, but if you do that for every single scene, it's going to get slow. The movie's 2.5 hours long. It feels like it's 4. Again, like, there's a scene, I'm like, oh, this is interesting, this is cool, and then it's okay again. And then at the end, you kind of said this, it was like, what happened? What happened? Like, there's a story, this happens and it's bad, and then the plan is to fix that wrong, and that's a story. But at the end, like, none of the characters that you care about have had much development. The main character, to me, feels like almost the same character that started it. Like, he's learned a little bit more about the world. And then there's a character that is very interesting, especially in relation to Caesar, that is in the middle of the movie. And not to spoil much, but, like, his story doesn't really go anywhere. Ends.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
And either you think that story is going to continue later in the movie, or there's going to be a reason for him to be in the movie. And there is a little bit. He teaches the main character some stuff. But at the same time, I was like, you could have taken out that entire...
But if you take out that entire, it's like the best part of the movie.
Yeah, no, his character's great. That's like, he's one of my favorite characters in the movie. It just didn't go... I wanted it to go somewhere more. And like I said, it's 2.5 hours long. I feel like you could have taken out 40 minutes to an hour, and it would be the same movie. But it wouldn't have been... I said this on the podcast before. A lot of the times I watch a movie, and the amount of time that I am in the movie, that I am consciously like, oh, I'm watching a movie, I really use that to gauge how boring a movie is. Like in Across the Spider-Verse, never once was I like, oh, I'm sitting here watching this movie. I'm just in the story. There were like long spans of time where I was like, okie dokie, okie dokie. That's my main con. And it's only one con, really, is the story is slow and doesn't necessarily... It takes a long time to tell a story that isn't that mind-blowing.
Nothing happens. It is a new franchise. There's a new director at the helm. There are new writers at the helm. There's still some similar people on the producing side, but largely this is a new story. I don't think it started as hot as the previous franchise. I think Rise is a really strong start to that trilogy, but I am excited to see the future of this franchise. I don't think it's a big spoiler to say that we're probably going to get more of these.
Yeah, there's definitely setups.
Yeah, not to spoil anything, but there are loose ends. And this does seem like the start of a very promising, very exciting second trilogy. And I am excited for the next one. I think.
Another con, Proximus is the villain.
Proximus Caesar, what a wonderful day.
So he's in the trailer. Another con is...
His role
is smaller than you might think.
Yes, that is... I will agree with that.
He's cool. He's a very cool character. There are cool characters in this movie.
There are. And he's one of them. He's very cool. And he's great when he's on screen. But I will say, I know that a lot of people, because it's our second monkey villain in this franchise, second to Koba. Koba's a hard act to follow.
True, yeah.
Like, I definitely think I should have maybe tempered my expectations for the monkey villain, considering that our other one is Koba. He's not Koba, but he is good.
He's good whenever he's on screen. He's just not on screen as much as you want him to be. But yeah, there are, like, he's a good character. The one from the middle, the monkey that we were talking about, is a good character. The human is a good character. The main character is a good character. Like I said, there's definitely pros in this movie. It's just slow, and some of the places things don't go where you want to go.
Here's something I will say as is maybe going to be a pro for a lot of people. That was maybe a con or maybe a in the middle kind of thing for me, is that I kept thinking I knew where this movie was going. And it doesn't go where you think it's going to go. It's not twisty. There aren't major surprises. There's not a big, there's Planet of the Apes 68 twist in this movie, the way that...
there is one moment where
there are some, surprising moments.
Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Where you're like, is that going to happen? And then it happens?
Yes.
With the human?
Yes.
Yeah.
But...
See, another good scene that I liked and was very tense.
But, there were some interesting things that, like there was one scene where there's a character confronting another character because of lies that character has told. And I got the sense like, oh, well, this is like The Godfather. I was like, oh, what an interesting place to go with this movie. And it just doesn't go that place.
I'm glad it didn't.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I felt like I was constantly expecting the movie to go in certain places and then wrong about those places and disappointed. And maybe I was wrong to feel that way. I could see myself liking this movie a whole lot more on rewatch, but I could also see myself liking it the same on rewatch. I don't know.
I'm very interested to see what you guys think and like what Rotten Tomatoes thinks and what the internet thinks.
Early reviews are high.
Good.
Yes.
Because, like, again, there's nothing in this movie that is egregiously bad in the sense that like they are disrespectful to Caesar or the original trilogy.
No.
Or they tell a story that's like actively stupid or whatever. Like maybe they played it a little safe. It's a little slow. There's some characters that you don't get as much as you want. Things like that are problems. And there's a lot of movie in between scenes that are good to great.
Yes.
Which makes it a movie that is okay/good in my opinion. Could have been definitely could have been better. Definitely could have been worse. And again, you can't help but compare it to the original, the first three.
Yes.
And
which
it's definitely
it is not. It's different.
It's not, and it's not as good as any of those three movies.
No.
But yeah, I am interested to see because like sometimes some of the things that bother me, like the slowness and the characters, what you get from certain characters, you don't get enough, might not bother people. And if those two things don't bother you, I think you'll have a lot of fun with this movie because it is gorgeous. And the scenes that I am talking about are really good. And some of the characters are really good. And it does set it up to give us a couple more movies that are bangers.
Hopefully. It is a new trilogy. We're just going to have to see. But overall, I am just happy to get more from this franchise, as always.
Anything else?
Probably not. If you were a monkey, what kind of monkey would you be?
Spider monkey.
Nice. What kind of monkey would I be? I'd be a long one. You know those long orangutans?
With the skinny ones with the arms?
Mm-hmm.
And they walk like this?
Is a sloth a monkey?
No.
A sloth is a bear.
No.
No, a sloth is like a weird animal.
A sloth is a sloth.
No. But it's in like a bear family. It's like a wolf or something. It's like a weird family. What?
It's not a wolf.
Kind of animal?
Dude, watch a sloth be a wolf. I'll freak out.
Sloth. It's not a wolf. I was like joking.
That'd be hilarious if it was a wolf. Please be a wolf.
Yeah, they're monkeys. So I'm a sloth.
Okay.
Is a sloth a bear or a monkey?
Who thinks sloths are bears?
They're related to armadillos and anteaters. That's the weird thing I was.
Yeah, see, I can see that.
Armadillos. They're like a monkey had sex with a aardvark.